I came across a quote this week in the book of Josephus about the destruction of the Second Temple that shocked me to the core of my being. Now, of course, all of us pretty much know how the Second Temple was destroyed according to our sages because of sinat chinam, baseless hatred. And we know that there were many factions and inner divisions at the time amongst the Jewish people. And I'd often heard it quoted from the book, but never seen it inside. And I was learning Josephus this week in preparation for Tisha B'Av to understand what happened at the time. It shocked me, as I said, to the core of my being. Because really, Josephus, the historian, we know the background of his stories. Flavius Josephus, Yosef ben Matityahu, was a Jewish general who got taken captive in the months leading up to the destruction of the temple, and in order to save himself became a chronicler, a historian, writing about the escapades of the Roman army. And he wrote many books, The Antiquities of the Jews, Wars of the Jews. And here is this quote about a debate between the Roman generals, which is brought in the book Flavius Josephus, book number 4, chapter 6. And here the generals come to Vespasian, who was a general about to become the emperor of Rome. And they said, General Vespasian, Vespasianus, why are we besieging the city for so long? Let's go in and attack and win. What are we waiting for? And listen to what Vespasian says. He says, my dear Roman generals, you've made a mistake. And I'm quoting now, chapter 4, at least book 4, chapter 6. But Vespasian replied that they were greatly mistaken in what they thought was fit to be done. He says, because without considering, he says, you're not considering what, the Jews are not considering what was for their advantage and for their security. For that, if they now go and attack the city immediately, they shall bring occasion to unite the enemy, and they shall convert them into a force now at its height against themselves. But listen to what he says. But if we stay for a while, we will have fewer enemies, because they will consume themselves in their sedition. And listen to this. That God acts as a general of the Romans better than he can do. And it is he who is giving the Jews up to them without any pains of their own, and granting the army a victory without any danger. And therefore it is their best way, while the enemies are destroying themselves with their own hands and falling into great misfortune. Says Vespasian, the way to defeat the Jews is not to fight them. Just wait, and they will destroy themselves. Indeed, a greater Roman general than I is God himself, who is allowing us time to simply watch while they destroy themselves. Absolutely shocking, giving extra credence and historical background to the words that it was sinat chinam, this inner fighting which caused the destruction of the temple. I say in conclusion, it's been a difficult few weeks in Yerushalayim, the Kotel controversy, creating terrible divisions, and of course now this last 2 weeks with the 2 Israeli police officers being killed, and Israel's attempt to try to bring security to the mountain, to Har HaBayit, and seeing the having to back down from every security measure taken, be it the metal detectors, be it the line fences, and even the security cameras. What a difficult challenge there is in the mountain with doing things now which are causing additional security challenges in order to bring some semblance of peace and normality back to the city. Very, very difficult challenges. But ultimately, spiritually, what we need to do to somehow continue to rebuild the city and to reflect on this Tisha B'Av is our own inner unity. The more we can bring a tikkun to prove Vespasian wrong, to show that ultimately it is the inner unity, the respect, the tolerance, the ability somehow not to compromise our values, but to find space for others within the Shivim Panim LaTorah, within the different perspectives within the Jewish people. If we're able to do that and to breach the walls of division, bring them down and at least to create the walls of unity, ultimately, Yerushalayim itself, the walls of Yerushalayim and the temple itself will be rebuilt, Be'ezrat Hashem, speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom.